Hi, hello, good evening. This is Satish Master from Way to Success GSN Mysore. As we scheduled a live on the first chemical communication, we are using the terminology chemical communication because what are the contents we are going to discuss under chemistry? We are calling it as chemical communications. At the same time, the communications which are comes under the biology, we are going to call it as biological communications in the next episodes onwards. As we announced in the previous announcement, that carbon and its compounds, the many uh, useful and very much creative sessions we might have going to face in upcoming days. We are not going to deal with any kind of slides or any kind of slides in front of you, because we believe in the mind writing rather than bind writing, what we are feeling going to announce in the upcoming days. The carbon and its compounds. The branch of chemistry which deals with the study of carbon is called as organic chemistry, as we know. The basic definition of carbon and its compounds, we can say the carbon and its compounds can be replaced by the title organic chemistry. Kindly note down the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of carbon and its compounds is called as organic chemistry. So we have 118 elements in the periodic table, as we know. Out of 118 elements, 98 are naturally occurring and 20 were man-made, or we can call it as which are synthesized at laboratory. I repeat, out of 118 elements, the 98 elements are naturally occurring and the 20 are man-made or which are prepared at the laboratory. That is the quite common basic information what we have to know before going to the content, that is carbon and its compounds. Carbon having a atomic number 6, which has the unique versatile, or we can say a special character compared to other elements out of 118. Why carbon is special? The many things are happening, many reactions are going to conducted with other elements also, as we have radioactive elements as well, and along with the radioactive elements we have noble gases also. We used to call periodic table as a Bible, Quran or Mahabharata, Bhagavad Gita of the chemistry, we can say, irrespective of the religion we are saying. The periodic table is considered as the Bible, Quran, or our Bhagavad Gita as well, because without Bhagavad Gita, or in the Bhagavad Gita we have everything like that. In periodic table, all 118 elements are present. All the chemistry concepts revolves around 118 elements only. How this carbon is special? That is the first point of the day. That is, carbon has the atomic number 6, as we know, the atomic mass 12. The atomic mass varies from 12 to 14, that is C6 12, C6 13, C6 14. These are all the, we can call it as the isotopes of carbon. That means the change in the mass number, but the atomic number remains constant. Why carbon is special? When you arrange the electrons present in the carbon, that is 6 electrons are there, 6 protons are there. As we know, the number of protons and electrons is always equal. That means how the carbon shows a special or unique character. For each and every elements, we are going to have two states, that is ground state as well as excited state. Number one, ground state. Number two, excited state. Excited states is nothing but when an element undergoing a reaction. By that time, there will be a change in its arrangement of electrons. The electrons will get changed from one orbit to another orbit. That means when the excited, they will change their position, or they will change their placement from one orbit to another orbit. Likewise, At the ground state, carbon has the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. We know that the maximum number of electrons can be present in s orbital is 2. The maximum number of electrons can be present in p orbital is 6. Likewise, the maximum number of electrons present in the d orbital are 10. At last, f orbital 14. So at ground state, the number of electrons in the different orbitals is 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. That is the ground state electronic configuration of our carbon. When it is undergoing reactions, we can say the very simply, very important thing of that is the two electrons which are present in 2s2 orbital will move towards the 2p orbitals, p orbitals. In p orbitals, we have three suborbitals like px, py, and pz. So six electrons which are available in the p orbital can be arranged in three suborbitals, that is px, py, and p2. That means when carbon undergoing the chemical reactions, the electrons which are present in the 2p2 orbit, 2p2 will shifting to the next things, 2py and 2pz. 2s2 we have, when it undergoes excited state, the electronic configuration will become 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, and 2pz1. That means the four single electrons will be present in two orbitals, that is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. That means the valency of carbon will become 4. That means carbon can make 4 bonds with other elements. The valency of the carbon is 4. That is the one of the major remarkable and great characteristic feature of the carbon. The versatility of the carbon can be started with its valency, that is 4. Then again, the atomic mass going to change, as we said in the introductory part, that is C612, C613, C614. That means the change in the mass number, that is nothing but the isotopes of carbon. We can say the C614 is very much useful in the finding the ages of the fossils, what we call carbon dating mechanism, we can say. Kindly remember, the valency of the carbon is 4 because of during excited state or when carbon undergoing the reactions, the electrons will shift from 2s2 orbital to 2p, x, 2py, and 2pz orbitals in a single number. Thereby, the valency becomes 4. Then moving to the next part of the content, the carbon can present or can show its appearance in 3 forms, as we know basically, that is graphite, diamond, and fullerene. What is this? We are saying carbon only. We are changing the name itself. That is nothing but these 3 have a common chemical compositions, but the different in physical appearance or physical properties, as we know. The graphite is the one only slight conductor of electricity, we can say, being a non-metal. And diamond, we know that the hardest metal or hardest substance in the world, what we are using the metal purpose. Fullerene also, which is done at the laboratory, which shows the similar character chemically with the carbon but appears different in its physical state. The carbon appearing in a different physical forms is considered as the allotropes, as we know that the mechanism is known as allotropism. Allotropism is nothing but the substances having the same chemical property but a different physical property or physical appearance. These are the major basic introductory concept related to the carbon what we are having. Then moving to the next level, being a non-metal or being a special element in the periodic table, as we said, out of 118 elements, carbon going to show the wide varieties of chemical properties with other elements. When it combines with the oxygen, simply it going to convert it into carbon dioxide. What we are doing in our body, that is what the respiration, what you call breathing. We are taking oxygen, we are exhaling carbon dioxide, as we know the primary information. My dear students, kindly prepare one concept map on this chapter, which are important. Focus on it. Don't feel it as a difficult one, because this chapter provides the basic foundation for your PU level or in your degree level as well. The organic chemistry is sometimes feeling like a risky content because of lack of the basic informations, we can say. Without basic informations, we cannot mold up or we cannot build the upcoming buildings of education journey, we can say. So carbon shows the vital character, that is four valency, and it has its own three groups. I hope from your beginning stage only, in your classes, your teachers has been explained about the ANE, ENE, and YNE. That is nothing but alkane, alkene, and alkyne. That means when a carbon to carbon only single bond is present, then we are going to consider it as alkane, ANE. Kindly remember ANE. Then when carbon has carbon to carbon double bond or two bonds, then we can call it as ENE, that is alkene. When carbon to carbon triple bonds are present, that is three bonds present, then we can consider it as alkyne. That means carbon can produce the more number of compounds with these three kinds of compounds, that is alkane, alkene, and alkyne. Kindly remember ANE, ENE, YNE. So this suffix indicates the nature of the compound, single carbon to carbon single bond, ANA we are saying. The general formula for alkanes is CnH2n plus 2. Kindly note down somewhere Cn at the subscript, CnH2n plus 2. Here N indicates the number of carbon atom. CnH2n plus 2. That means when there is only one carbon present, if you replace the N by 1, it will become C1H2 into 1 plus 2, that is nothing but CH4. CH4, that is nothing, that's what our great one and only, the first organic compound, that is methane. One carbon associated with four hydrogen atoms. Here only we can understand our four valency concept, that is carbon making four bonds with the four hydrogen atoms. The first organic compound, that is methane. Here METHANE we are using, that is nothing but the general formula CnH2n plus 2. It's satisfied with the methane because carbon has four single bonds with the four hydrogen atoms. Moving to the ENE, if it is carbon to carbon double bond, then we are going to consider it as alkene, which has the general formula CnH2n. CnH2n. That is nothing but when there is only one carbon, we are going to have C1H2. That is CH2. That is not a compound. That is not a compound. That's going to be a chain link in the huge compounds or a chain of the compounds, we can say. So alkene series starts from C2. Alkene series starts from C2. Then C2H4 we can say, that is nothing but carbon to carbon double bond, and each carbon has two hydrogen atoms, that is called as our ethene. 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 Ethene represents the first alkene compound which has the carbon to carbon double bond. So single bond alkane, double bond alkene. That is what the concept saying. The third one here is alkyne. The general formula CnH2n minus 2. CnH2n minus 2. That is nothing but when carbon is 1, there is no compound appearance, there is no compound productivity, we can say, because C1H will become 0. So we are not going to get any compound under C1. So the series starts with C2, we can say C2, then it will become H2, because 2 into 2 minus 2, 4 minus 2, 2. So then the series can be called as ethyne. Ethyne. Ethyne is the first compound of alkyne series. Yne, Ene, Ane. Remember these suffixes, automatically it is very easy to recall the huge number of compounds which comes under different categories called alkane, alkene, alkyne. Clear? So we are saying here alkane has number of compounds, alkenes also have huge number of compounds, likewise alkyne also. That means when there is a linkage of the huge number of carbon atoms, we can call it as a special property called catenation. Catenation is nothing but the property or a special property of a compound called carbon to form a long chain by interlinking with the carbon atoms. So when there is a huge chain formation takes place between carbon atoms, then we can call it as a catenation. Likewise, if only one carbon is there, we can call it as meth. The prefix will be meth, METH. If a two carbon atoms, the prefix will be eth, ETH. Likewise, if three carbon atoms are there, then we are going to use the prefix prop, PROP. If a four carbon, we are going to use but, BUT. We are talking about the prefix. When you take a one word, we have two parts, prefix and suffix. So 4 carbon atom but, 5 carbon atom pent, 6 carbon atom hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 nan, 10 dec. Deca we can say. So meth, eth, prop, but, pent, hex, hept, oct, nan, and last one deca. If you know these prefixes, 10 prefixes is more than enough to understand the basic contents related to the carbon. Suffix will change as per the availability of the bonding. If a single bond is present, then methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nyanane, decane. If only single bonding is present between carbon atoms. If it is two carbon atoms are present, as we said, the methane availability very less, and now you can say you can take it from ethene, propene, butene, pentene, hexene. So prefix and suffix. Suffix indicates the nature of bond present in between carbon. The prefix says about the number of carbon atom present in that particular compound. So the nomenclature of the carbon and its compounds consider alkane, alkene, alkyne, single bond, double bond, and triple bond, meth to deca, we can say dec, 1 to 10. The prefix indicates the number of carbon atom present. Suffix indicates the nature of the bonding. Nature of the bonding between carbon atoms. If it is single bond, we are going to call it as ANE, that is alkane series. If a double bond, we are going to call it as alkene series. If it is triple bond, then we are going to call it as alkyne series. This is what the nomenclature of the carbon and its compounds. The naming of the carbon and its compounds depends upon the nature of the bonding and number of carbon atom present in that particular compound. So, dear my dear respected beloved students, when you are discussing content, kindly note down few points or while watching the video later on also. So these key points will help you to remember the content during examinations. Don't get tense at any moment, because carbon and its compound chapter will give you an opportunity to score more in chemistry, because we are going to deal with the four chapters, that is, as you know, chemical reactions and equations, acid, bases and salt, metals and non-metals, carbon and its compounds. These four chapters will give you the 100% success if you are able to understand the basic contents. The chemical reactions are nothing but the balancing or just understanding the atoms and their combination. Carbon compounds and metals and non-metals are very much easier chapters compared to first chapter, we can say. Many students are may feeling like chemical reactions and equations are very easier, but carbon and its compounds and metals and non-metals, somewhere we are feeling confusing or somewhere we are getting burden. No, kindly don't think like that. These 4 plus biology, you can score out at CBSE board examinations if you know the concept. Kindly don't recite the content, because at examination you are not going to say anything orally, you are going to write the examination with a pen only. That means presentation required. What we are suggesting here is, from my personal suggestion is, kindly write and practice the chemical reactions. Don't read it. Don't just read and go. No, kindly practice by writing the then only chemical reactions will get downloaded in this system, because this system requires few download, which before downloading kindly scan out the system. After scanning you can understand the concept in an easier way. In this today's episode, what we are discussing here is very simple, is carbon and its compounds, nomenclature, and the allotrophism and isomers, we can say, and one more very important one, electronic configuration of carbon. So electronic configuration, ground state and excited state. At the ground state, the electronic configuration will be 1s2, 2s2, 2p2 at ground state. When carbon undergoing chemical reactions, it will move to the excited state, thereby the electronic configuration will become 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. That means p orbital has 3 suborbitals. That means each orbitals will get one electron, that is 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. That means the valency of the carbon will become 4. Through excited states, we can understand carbon can form 4 bonds with other elements which are available in the periodic table. The first element of the organic chemistry or organic chemistry deals with the carbon and its compounds. That is the basic definition. The first compound of the organic chemistry can be called as a methane, that is 1 carbon and 4 hydrogen atoms. The nomenclature or the naming of the compound is ANE, ENE, YNE. ANE is nothing but alkane series, ENE is nothing but alkene series, YNE is nothing but alkyne series. So each word will be having 2 parts, that is prefix and suffix. If a suffix is ANE, then we can consider it as a carbon has carbon to carbon single bond. If a suffix as E and E, then we can consider carbon to carbon there will be a present of double bonds. If a suffix is Y and E, carbon to carbon there will be a triple bond. Based on that, we are going to write the name of the compound. As we know, 1 carbon, meth, 2 eth, 3 prop, 4 but, 5 pent, 6 hex, 7 hept, 8 oct, 9 nan, and 10 dec. So 1 to 10. If the carbon number is only 1, we have to use the prefix meth. Then the bonding we are going to see, if it is single bond, methane. If it is double bond, methane. Likewise, it will start methine. So ethane, ethene, ethyne. Propane, propene, propine. YNE triple bond, ENE double bond, ANE single bond. Kindly have these terms in your mind. It will help you to write the naming of the carbon and its compounds. In the next episode, we are going to have a small discussion about the chemical reactions, what the carbon, how the carbon going to react with other elements. I repeat, the chemical properties of carbon also very much important and unique one compared to other elements out of 118. So here the chemical communication one, before ending to the next session, we are moving to the next session. Let's have a highlights on the periodic table, because without knowing the periodic table contents we are unable to understand the chemical communication. 118 elements are there which are arranged in 18 groups and 7 periods. So groups are nothing but the vertical boxes, we can say columns. The periods are nothing but rows. There are 7 rows in the periodic table and 18 boxes are there. Those are considered as groups. So we can call it as a long form periodic table, because 7 into 18 we used to call 7 periods, 18 groups. The Mendeleev's has been discussed in the previous basic classes. No, the modern periodic table, Dmitry Mendeleev presented all the elements in the different groups and periods, that is 7 periods and 18 groups. That's why the modern periodic table is also called as a long form periodic table, because it has 18 groups and 7 periods. 118 elements are arranged in these 7 into 18 periods and groups. Out of 118, 98 elements are naturally occurring, 20 elements are man-made or which are prepared in the laboratory. Everything, all the chemistry contains revolves around these 118 elements. Based on these elements properties and the salient features, the chemical compounds formations and the chemical reactions will occur. We are going to study in the 3 different major branches of the chemistry, that is physical chemistry, organic chemistry, and inorganic chemistry. The basic divisions of chemistry: physical chemistry, inorganic chemistry, and organic chemistry. Carbon and its compounds, organic chemistry. Other than carbon and its compounds, inorganic chemistry. Physical chemistry refers to the physical changes, what and all we are going to see, like a melting point, boiling point, and other things that will come in our next level of education. One more thing, the reactions which are occurring inside our body comes under biochemistry. But for the 10th standard is concerned, we can keep 3 major branches: organic, inorganic, and physical. So carbon and its compounds is nothing but organic chemistry. So in this case, allotrophism, isotopes of carbon, and the versatile nature, that is 4 valency of carbon, and the nomenclature of carbon and its compounds. These 4 factors are the basic informative things under the chapter. Allotropism, I am repeating, isotopes, versatile nature, that is valency, 4 valency of carbon, and nomenclature of the carbon and its compounds. Single bond ANE, double bond ENE, triple bond YNE. Then again, isotopes are nothing but change in the mass number, same atomic number. Allotropes are nothing but same chemical property but different physical property. That is graphite, diamond, fullerene. Isotopes are nothing but C612, C613, C614. Then electronic configuration. Arrangement of the electrons is called electronic configuration. There are two types of electronic configurations: ground state and excited state. Ground state is nothing but when a atom or when an element not undergoing any chemical reaction, by the time there will be a electronic configuration. And one more, that is when chemical element undergoing chemical reaction, by the time there will be change in its electronic configuration, that is called as excited state electronic configuration. So ground state, normal, no chemical reaction. Excited state, at the time of chemical reaction. So carbon ground state configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p2. But when it undergoing chemical reaction 1s2, 2s1, 2px1, 2py1, 2pz1. So thereby the four orbits will get a single electrons. We can consider it as a four valency. That is what the basic, versatile, unique, special character of the carbon. In the chemical communication 2, we are going to come with the chemical reactions, how the carbon reacts with the other elements, and what will be the products or what will be the results we are going to get through the chemical reactions. We can call it as a product formations. Chemical reactions, as we know, reactant get converted into product. So in the next episode, in the next live stream only, we are going to come with the chemical properties of carbon and few selected its compounds like ethanol, methanol, and few other compounds also we are going to discuss. Hereby, we are ending up the first live stream, that is chemical communication 1 related to the carbon and its compounds. In the next episode, we are going to come with the chemical properties of carbon that will be more useful. I request all my dear beloved students, kindly be ready with the one piece of paper or a pen for the short points note down, that's it. But I believe personally mind writing is very important rather than the bind or handwriting. That's why we are presenting ourselves in an oral informative way. I feel the session will be useful for my dear CBSE grade 10th students without any burden, or we are trying to create an easier channel. In the same channel only, we are going to share you the highlights of the live stream in a different ways. We are going to share that in for the upcoming live streams and all. I request my dear beloved students, kindly subscribe the channel and inform your friends who are studying at the 10th standard also. Academic related weekly twice we will come with the different contents which comes under chemistry, biology, and even social also. Sometimes very important concept of physics also will be presented in front of you for the betterment of the board examinations. Hereby, we are signing out from the channel Way to Success GSN from Satish Master, Mysore. Thank you so much.